Welcome back to the channel, guys. Bamirich here, and today we're going to be previewing the fixtures for the upcoming weekend, match week 9. So we're going to go through, just like last time, we're going to go through each and every fixture from play order. So Friday's fixture this week, Saturdays, Sundays. So let's get into it. So the first fixture, obviously, that we're looking at this week is the Villa-Arsenal game, and that is actually happening on Friday night. So once again, for those that watched my previous FPL video, you know that the game week deadline this week is 6 o'clock Friday, so make sure you don't miss that if you play FPL. But let's talk about Villa-Arsenal. So head-to-head wise, Villa have actually won the last 3 meetings, Premier League meetings between these two clubs. So I think they've won the last two. Won the last 3, 2 at home, 1 away. So I think that's quite a surprising stat. However, current form, Arsenal are unbeaten in 5 games. They haven't lost obviously in 5 games. I think they've drawn their last 2. Whereas Villa's recent form isn't quite as good. They've been a bit in and out. So current form would point to an Arsenal win, but I can't really, obviously the Arsenal drew against Crystal Palace last game. I can't really say for sure that Arsenal will win this game. So for me, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw for this game, Villa v Arsenal, and let's see how that goes. So on to that Chelsea-Norwich game, which I think you all already know what my prediction is going to be for this one, but let's keep you in suspense. Funnily enough, Norwich's current form, obviously, you know, this is top versus bottom. Norwich, rock bottom of the league. Chelsea doing well right at the top, 1st versus 20th. But Norwich's current form is actually decent. They've you know, for them anyway, they've drawn the last 2 games, keeping clean sheets in both. I think 0-0 draws. Obviously 0-0 draws. Chelsea's form basically impeccable, other than I think 3 games ago they faced City and they lost that 1-0 or whatever it was. No, was it 1-0? Can't remember. Yes, 1-0. Yeah, so their form is obviously good. And in the last 5 meetings that these guys have had against each other, Chelsea have won 4 and drawn 1. So really and truly, it should be a Chelsea win. So I'm going to predict a 3-0 win. Obviously, Chelsea have Lukaku out, Werner out, so they don't really have like a recognised striker per se. They're going to probably play Havertz up front. But I really don't think that will mean anything. I think they should still be able to get the win in this game. If they win, obviously comfortably, they stay top of the league. So yeah, I'll predict a 3-0 Chelsea win. No issue for them without having Werner and Lukaku. Havertz should probably bang a few goals. Actually, a little, I don't know, breaking news. I've actually put in not Werner, Havertz in my fantasy league team, which would be a very big surprise for those that have watched the fantasy FPL corner that I posted just the other day. Obviously everything kicked off after that with the whole Lukaku injury, so I had to make different changes, but let's see how that pans out. So yeah, my prediction, 3-0 for this game. Chelsea, easy win, clean sheet as well. The Palace-Newcastle game, next game, which I believe 14th is Palace, 19th Newcastle. Now, Newcastle have sacked Steve Bruce. Breaking news, not really breaking news. They did it on Tuesday or something, Tuesday or Wednesday. He's gone, and you know, big up Steve Bruce. Really, to be honest, he's a great. Well, I don't know, gas him too much because everybody's gassing him now, obviously, because he's lost his job. But you know, he's a stalwart. You know, he's a United legend, obviously, so I have to back him. And he was treated like all the abuses you're getting is completely wrong, in my opinion. You know, you can hate on the entertainment that you're getting, but you don't need to abuse the personal person. But anyway, so back to the game. Newcastle are looking pretty bereft of any options right now. You know, they currently don't have a manager. By the time we're recording this video, obviously that might change because I think they're being linked to the ex-Roma manager. So yeah, I don't really know for this game. I think Palace's form is actually pretty decent. They've only lost 1 of their last 5 games. So, you know, I mean, Newcastle are, like I said, don't really have much option at the moment without a manager in place, etc. And they haven't won a game this season. They haven't won a single game this season. So I don't really see that changing. I see Vieira's doing a great job at Palace. You know, they should have probably won. Well, they definitely should have beaten Arsenal last week. It was a devastating blow for them at the last minute. You know, that Lacazette goal. So I would say that this is probably going to be a Palace win. 2-1. We'll give them. We'll give Newcastle a goal. 2-1. I'm going for Palace easy win again. Moving on to the Everton-Watford game. Now, this game is going to be very interesting to call. I think Everton have not lost. They've never lost a game at Goodison Park to Watford. I think they've played 15 or something like that, and they've won. I think they've won 13, drawn 2. So that's pretty good record for them. And their form, both teams' recent form has been a bit. It's pretty similar. I think Everton have lost obviously their last 2 games. They lost the last game last minute against West Ham. And Watford also, or maybe they lost 1, drew 1, Everton, and Watford have lost their last 2 games. Obviously, once again, new manager. They got spanked last week by Liverpool 5-0. I'd expect them to bounce back a little bit more in this game. You know, do a bit better. But looking at the recent form, looking at that stat I mentioned earlier, that Everton have actually never lost to Watford in any competition, not just in the Premier League, at home. I'd probably have to go for a sneaky Everton win in this one. You know, sorry once again to my Watford fan friends. I'm going to have to go for an Everton win, just a 2-1. Watford will look better this time, but they just won't make it just quite. Like I said, I'm giving, again, Ismaila Sarr another big shout out because I really like the player. I like the way he plays. I reckon he will get a goal this time. Obviously, I said he would get a goal against Liverpool, but he didn't. But I reckon he'll get one this time. So I'd say a 2-1 for this one for me. Now, the next game is the Leeds-Wolves game on Saturday. And actually, I think this is going to be you'll see my prediction. I think this should be a very good game to watch, actually, because Leeds have faced the most shots in the Premier League at the moment. So they're quite open at the back. And Wolves are looking good. You know, I think they're on a 3-game winning streak. They've won the last 3 games. After, like I said before, they had their shaky start to the season, not winning a single game and looking really good. But yeah, I think they're looking quite good at the moment and getting the results. And so yeah, I reckon they'll probably win this game. Leeds on the other hand, their fixtures, their recent form, I think they've only won 1 of their last 5 games. So that's not great form at all. Which is very interesting considering they look like a pretty decent team. Everybody rates Bielsa, their manager, but they just haven't really been doing it this season so far. Bamford is still out for them. I think Calvin Phillips is back, but Bielsa said that he's probably not going to be fit to, you know, he hasn't been running around for the last 3 weeks, so he might not start. It might be too soon for him to start. And Rafinha is back though, so you know that could be a big boost for them. And because of that, actually because of Rafinha and because of Jimenez on the other side, you can see I'm thinking of my FPL brain here. But I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw here. And I'm hoping 2 goals for Rafinha, 2 goals for Jimenez, and I'm happy FPL wise. So yeah, that's my prediction for Leeds and Wolves, 2-2 draw. So Southampton-Burnley. Now, this is another one where one of the teams hasn't won a game all season. And that team is Burnley. Just like Norwich, just like Newcastle, they haven't won a game at all this season. And for some people that would be good news because hopefully for them Burnley will get relegated because for some reason people don't really like Burnley and Sean Dyche and the style of play in the Premier League. But I actually think they will get their first win this week or this game week or whatever against Southampton, which might seem a bit weird because Southampton actually won their first game last game against, was it Leeds that they were facing? They won 1-0, so they've finally got their first win. But I just don't see. I haven't really rated Southampton much this season. You know, they've had lots of shots and they look decent, but I just don't rate them much this season. Not that I rate Burnley much better, but I just have a feeling that Burnley will get their first win this season at Southampton, and I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Burnley win. Now these predictions could be completely wrong, and I'll be more than happy to go through them again on the review show. But I just have a feeling that Burnley will get that 1-0 win this time round. On to the next one, and it's a big Champions League places clash, right? Brighton versus City, 4th versus 3rd. And actually, Brighton they had never won, or not recently won, against City for a long time, up until May recently, this year, last season, when they beat them 3-2. They were 2-0 down and they beat them 3-2. And Brighton are looking good this season. Like, you know, they've both teams have only lost one game. I think Brighton lost to Everton and City lost obviously to Spurs. That when everybody thought Spurs would get absolutely trounced, but they won 1-0. So yeah, both teams have only lost one game. Brighton, like I said, looking good. City obviously looking amazing. And like I said, it's a fourth place Brighton versus third place City. So it's actually it should be a relatively decent game. However, I have zero doubt in my mind that City are going to win this game. I'd love Brighton to win. I'd love Brighton to win this game, and I'm hoping my prediction is completely wrong. You know, I hope they sneak a 1-0 win, or, you know, win another 3-2 amazing game. But I just have a feeling that City will be too good for Brighton, obviously. De Bruyne scored in the last 2 games, which he doesn't generally do. He's more of an assister, as we all know, and he's never scored, I don't think, in 3 consecutive games. So, you know, he could score another goal this week against Brighton and do that for the first time. But like I said, I think Brighton will not be able to beat City this game. I do think, because Brighton's defence is so good, and because they are just a pretty good team this season, it'll be a tough game for City, and it will be a tight game. So, and I guess my prediction is not necessarily tight, because I don't know, it's 2-0 tight. But yeah, so as I just said, I'll be going for a 2-0 City win. But I do think that this could be an upset. There could be an upset in this game, and I do think that Brighton could get something, you know, whether that's a draw or sneak a win, and I would love that. I'd love to be completely wrong with this one. And the next game is Brentford-Leicester. Now, I'm hoping, after last week here, I'm hoping that Leicester hold a huge loss, huge L for Leicester, please. Because, I mean, to be honest, I hope it's a high-scoring game, because the other change I've made, because of Lukaku's gone in my fantasy Premier League team, I've actually brought in Jamie Vardy. Breaking news. And he scored in his last 4 games, so it's pretty, you know, it's a sensible move, but it's just something that I would never really usually have done. Because he's not as fanciable, I guess, as, you know, a Kane or a Lukaku or Ronaldo. Anyway, let's talk about the game, not FPL. So yeah, so I think I'm hoping it's a Leicester loss, just because we lost to them last week, and, you know, I'm still hurting from that, but I still support the team, obviously. And Brentford are looking good anyway. Brentford are a good team. They've done really well in the last few games. All season, really, they've done really well. Leicester seem like they're having a bit of a resurgence. I'm hoping it's like a 3-3 or something game, because, you know, I think Tony, once again, I feel like every time I'm going to mention Brentford, I'm going to mention Tony and Mbuemo, however you pronounce his name. Somebody let me know in the comments if you know how to pronounce his name, you know. And I think they'll be really key. Obviously, Patson Daka for Leicester got 4 goals in the Europa League just on Thursday or Wednesday, whenever they played. And but he's not going to play. He's not going to start. Vardy will start, and Vardy will probably score another goal. Which, you know, he's got the record for that streak thing where he scored, I think, 12 goals, 13 goals, can't remember how many now, in a row in consecutive games. He broke Van Nistelrooy's record, and he actually broke it against us. Scored that 12th game in that 12th game. But yes, I think I think I'm being biased with this prediction, right? I'm very biased. Leicester are a good team. Leicester should get a result here, or at least it should be like a draw or something. And I wouldn't be surprised whichever team won. However, Brentford are at home, and I just think they've been so good this season, and I really like their players. I like the way they play, everything like that. And I'm gonna go for a Brentford win, 3-1. That's my prediction. Interesting fact: this is actually these teams' first Premier League meeting together. They've never played each other in the Premier League, but in the last 7 games in all competitions that they have met, Brentford haven't won a single game. So this will be, I think, the last time they won was like in 1963 or something. Yeah, so the last time Brentford have never, well, not never, they haven't won against Leicester in a very long time, and this is the first Premier League meeting between the clubs. So should be a very interesting one, and I'm gonna go, like I said, for a Brentford win, hopefully, with maybe a couple goals from Mbuemo, and a goal from Tony, and 3-1 because Vardy will get his customary goal, because he always does. So the second game on Sunday after that Brentford-Leicester game is the London derby, West Ham versus Spurs. London derby, obviously. Now, West Ham are looking really good in Europe. They've won, like they just played again in Europa League. They've won 3 games, scored 7 goals, conceded none. So they're looking really good in Europe, but they're also looking good, pretty decent in the Premier League. You know, they won their last game. But their form has been a bit in and out, but they won their last game. They're a good team. And Spurs have won their last 2 games. You know, they're looking like they're picking up a bit of form as well. Beating Newcastle 3-2, I think what that game was. So they're looking good. But I think, well, it's almost like I've come out as West Ham is my second team or something, but they're not. I just like their kit, but the black one, not all the other ones. Just in case you want to buy me one. Yeah, I think West Ham will win this game. I actually think they'll win this game 2-1, 3-1, something like that. I think I'll go for a 2-1 or 3-1. I don't know. But it's almost like an Antonio versus Kane situation here, right? And Antonio's actually scored. I think he scored 5 goals against Spurs in Premier League goals, right? And that's his. Spurs are the team that he scored the most Premier League goals against. Other than no other team he scored that much against. So he loves playing against Spurs, and I reckon they rested him against whoever they faced in Europa League. I think it was like Ghent or something. So I see him starting, being fresh, ready to go, and he's gonna bag against Spurs, I reckon. So yeah, I'm going for a 2-1 West Ham win, and I'm pretty sure that one would be correct. I think. Spurs are looking good, but I just don't see them beating West Ham. I hope they don't, to be honest. I mean, it could come to pass that they do, but I reckon that'll be a West Ham win. So the big game of the weekend, big game of the game week, right? It's basically a derby, and my heart is pumping. I'm scared. It's the Liverpool United game, right? And to be honest with you, yeah, if you watched obviously you watched my review, you saw that we lost last week to Leicester. And then I was watching, obviously, the United game against Atalanta in the Champions League on Wednesday. And after the first half, after the first half, because it was 2-0 down at half time, right? I was literally thinking, we're going to get absolutely destroyed by Liverpool, right? We're going to get absolutely destroyed. It's going to be like 7-0, something embarrassing, maybe 7-1 because Rashford will probably score. But now, obviously, I have to back my team, and I will back my team regardless of how bad we're looking in the first half of games. And obviously, second half, we came back. We did really well. It was like attacking football, free-flowing football. But unfortunately, I do think that it will be, especially if we play like we did in the first half against Atalanta, we're finished. We're finished. Because Mo Salah is Mo Salah, and he'll bag against us. Because I think he scored in the last 2 games against us anyway, or 3 games against us. I think 2 games against us. We haven't beaten Liverpool, or United haven't beaten Liverpool, right, in the last 9 games. Or no, we've beaten them once in the last 10 games. We haven't beaten them in the last 5 games. Beaten them once in the last 10 games. And we lost this fixture 4-2 last season. They beat us. So I don't really, my head is telling me that this is going to be not an easy win for Liverpool, but a win for Liverpool. But my heart is saying that United are we have to pull this out of the bag. We have to win, because we haven't won. We've lost the last 2 games, or we haven't. Yeah, we lost against West Ham, not West Ham. We lost against Leicester, and we lost the game before that. I believe, I can't remember who it was now. But yeah, we're looking dreadful. Whereas Liverpool are unbeaten in 18 games. So like I said, my head would tell me that Liverpool should win this game, but my heart is saying a United win. Okay, and I know I said that I'd probably predict a draw for this, but I'm gonna go for a United win. I'm gonna go for it anyway. Just go for it. And I'm gonna go for a 2-1 United win. I don't really care who scores. It can literally be 2 on goals, whatever. But I just need us to win this game. But I still see Salah scoring, or someone along the lines of Salah scoring. Liverpool are looking too good not to score against us. Our defense is looking dreadful. And on that note, let me pull up my predicted lineup for United game as usual, just the United team. So as usual, when I say back 5, I mean including the goalkeeper. Our usual back 5, because Varane is out, he's still injured. I'm going for De Gea in goal, right back obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka, 2 centre backs Maguire and Lindelof, left back Luke Shaw. Now the midfield is the area of interest, right? Because Ole went for McTominay and Fred as usual in his, I call it his comfort blanket, because whenever anything goes wrong, he thinks, you know what, let me just revert to McTominay and Fred to bring balance. But I think he might go for Fred and Pogba, because he rested Pogba dropped Pogba against Atalanta. So I reckon and Fred played really well, but he came off a little bit with a bit of an injury, so hopefully he's fit. I can't believe I'm saying hopefully Fred's fit, but you know, I reckon it'll be Fred and Pogba in midfield. Well, actually no, I hope it'll be Fred and Pogba in midfield. I reckon it'll be McTominay and Fred in midfield, if both are fit. Then up front, or the front four, I would say that it's going to be obviously Ronaldo up top, Bruno just behind him in the number 10, left Marcus Rashford, and right Jadon Sancho. So once again, I guess this is my hope that Jadon Sancho comes in, because Greenwood, I love Greenwood. He's actually my favourite player, I think, at the moment in the United squad, maybe next to Rashford. But I think he deserves to be dropped because Sancho is more creative. Sancho will give us more creative, you know, output on that right-hand side, scary hours and that. So I'm hoping that he starts instead of Greenwood for this game. And I'm hoping we get the 2-1 win, you know. So there you have it. Those are my predictions for this game week, this match week 9. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your predictions are for each of those fixtures. Let me know if you think United can beat Liverpool. And leave your comments, obviously, in the comment section. Like the video and subscribe to the channel as always.